What's up, people, and welcome to another episode or interview of Developer Habits. My name is Ketmar. I'm a full stack engineer from Estonia, and one of my missions is to inspire you to establish healthy habits and also show you how other people are establishing their healthy habits and how they are living their creative and inspiring lives. And today we have Mathias here. Did I actually pronounce it correctly?
Yes, you did. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's Mathias.
yeah, we have Mathias here, and we are going to talk about hackathons because, like, I genuinely believe that hackathons are one of the greatest places where you can try out your skills, network with people, and so on. But regarding Mathias, he's done something really like special in my eyes, and that's why we are going to talk about this topic. But I'm just gonna, hand it to you and let you introduce yourself.
Hi, Getmar. Yes, I'm Mathias, and I'm really glad to be here. And one thing that you mentioned is that your mission, that I really like it. And I remember the first time when I saw your video uploaded to YouTube, and I was thinking, oh my God, Getmar is doing something really fun. And now, by random chance, I'm over here. And now I have opportunity to talk about hackathons.
The how you got to or how we started the conversation about you coming here was also quite funny, right? Because you listened to a podcast, an Estonian podcast, and I was like, hey man, if you have some feedback for me, then just let me know. And that's kind of at some point I was like, wait, you've been to quite many hackathons. Maybe you want to talk about it?
For me, yes, the main thing that I give feedback, like positive feedback, is that I really like that you're really honest in terms of like what what you're thinking. So, like personally, I probably learn actively like 5, 6 different podcasts, and maybe they're not talking openly or like really what they're thinking about. For you, I have to say it's exception, and yeah, and interesting mission, that's for sure.
I'm glad to hear that. But Matthias, maybe we can actually talk about your background because I, I did some background research and it actually came out that we have studied the same thing in Taltech University, but we are doing quite different things professionally. So maybe you can say a couple of words about your background and what you're doing at the moment.
Yes, so right now I'm risk model analyst in a bank called Luminor. Uh, I have to say that I really love my job. um, I'm like really thankful, and uh, like 3, 4 like years ago, I would have never pictured that there are like really interesting things inside of bank that can be done. And what risk modeler does is that we have different models inside of bank, and we are trying to measure different credit risk, some net interest income from loans. And for this, actually, there's quite complex formulas, including, and there are also like formulas provided by like European Central Bank, and then we are making our own models, and then we have many different models. Then there's a lot of data quality issues, and like what kind of indicators we want to add to our models, what are the future plans. So those are main things. And for me personally, like every day I'm like Python developer. Uh, then every day pretty much doing queries in SQL, trying to find some uh, future, for example, columns to be added or current data quality issues uh, uh, inside of our columns, and then approaching the right people to fix it. Yeah, that's like the main thing. And previously, before that, for example, I was consultant in Avalanche Laboratory for more than a year, and I was actually consultant to Luminor and Nortel, but I mainly a consultant to Luminor, and then I was building models as well in Python. And then I heard that in my there's like a apartment opening that I was already previously like looking inside. Okay, they probably are building the most sophisticated model. So, and yeah, that's now I'm here. So, and before that, you mentioned like, mm, so you and me, yes, we were both studying business IT in Taltech University for 3 years, and I I think yes, I have seen you in some Facebook groups posting as well, but I don't think if we started in the same year.
No,
Uh,
I
yeah,
think I started in, I don't even remember, 2012 or 2013. 12, I guess.
yeah, something different. And then I remember, yeah, you posted, and then I replied something that if you want some homework or something. And then while I was in bachelor degree, I was working in data decisions. That was one model like linear regression, uh, like pretty much like a build like modeling company that focused on linear regression, and we tried to measure the return on investment on advertising. And over there we had quite huge data sets in terms of like different indicators we could use, and the accuracy for models for linear regression, like considering all the statistical values like p-values and t-stats and uh, Turbine Watson and stuff, we actually like R squared was like 99% in some cases, and I wouldn't say definitely there was like huge overfitting issue. So yeah, I would say like were there I had never seen as accurate models as I have seen in there, like considering like university's life that I have studied later in masters, like all the models like I don't know 90% maximum or 50-60%, and if I have my own data set, then yeah, 50% is like okay, 55-60% is like average accuracy. So yeah, data science modeling and software development in conclusion.
It's actually quite cool because you, like, I can see from your face you're quite excited when you talk about those topics. And actually, I also looked into your GitHub account and I saw repositories related to machine learning and data science and so on. So it seems like you've been playing around, and I know that we have the same education, but as I said before, we've taken quite different paths regarding our professional life, and I guess it is also demonstrates that if you do something in your university, then it doesn't like um, still give you a direct path. You still have to choose yourself.
For business IT, especially for you and me, that's like extra wide options because you can go to analyst, developer, project manager, designer, I don't know, like a lot of different ways.
Yeah. But it's what you just said actually really resonates with our main topic today, hackathons. Because I guess you agree with me when I say that if you participate in a hackathon, you can do whatever you want to. You can take whatever role you want to. So maybe you can tell us to those listeners who don't know what are hackathons.
Yes, little brief intro as well regarding the hackathons from my side is that before our meeting, I was trying to count how many hackathons I have been to. Um, I got at least 20 different hackathons. Um, and yeah, it's been like a fun ride. And one like fact is that I have been like 3 hackathons that like 3 years in a row in my birthdays I've been in hackathons. So I was considering like what's the best way to spend that day, and it was hackathons. Uh, and you asked what is a hackathon? It depends on like concept with uh, organizing it, but usually it's like 48-hour uh, like marathon uh, development process. And with this, it starts with that, for example, on Friday, you gather in the place, and then people like 40, 50 people will pitch their ideas. Then there's like a team formalization. Then the teams that have enough people, then usually they start developing the ideas for like few days, and then on last day, for example on Sunday, there's like a pitching session, and then there's like finalizing who is the best win, like best team to win this thing. So yeah, in conclusion, 48 hours, just trying to validate some startup idea.
Mm-hmm. And I guess
You have been in hackathons as well.
yeah, and I just wanted to add that what makes those hackathons so cool is that in most cases you actually build something real, or you like make so many advancements during those 48 hours that it's just amazing.
Yes, like in 48 hours as well, like you have to focus as well, like what you want to build. Like some parts you definitely have to mock. It's like building your MVP. It's just trying to understand uh, like most viable product is that you want to test it, to build it and see if it's working and if you can find some attractions in terms of, for example, customers. Uh, in 48 hours, it is possible to actually make some all right, I don't know, website and have some simple use like functions itself. And then you can start advertising that. Then maybe there are like people coming and to your site and see some value in there. And from hackathons, there have been quite many like success cases as well. For example, in Garage 48 in, I think it was Belarus or something, or Ukraine, and there was like one startup that was acquired by Facebook.
Oh wow.
Like I don't know, 100 million or something. Anyway, like a big amount of money, and there's like a lot of different examples.
Mm-hmm. I guess we can. There are many topics that I'd already like to discuss, like how to approach building your product and how to get as lean as possible, and what other prices you've gotten, and so on, so on. But first, let's go back a bit, and maybe you can tell us about your first hackathon experience. How did you get into hackathons?
My first hackathon experience was in Transferwise Hackathon, and actually, if I'm correct, and I think Etmar, you were there as well. The same hackathon that I went to, and I remember there was like really simple idea, like shop assistant with giving advice if you should buy it or some, if not if you should buy it or not. Trying to collect different kind of data, and experience was really good. TransferWise knows very well how to organize hackathons. It was this specific hackathon was 24 hours, and we formalized our team. Everyone understood their roles. They were motivated. We in 24 hours, one developer was able to um, create mobile application that it's possible to pitch with, that it's interactive and stuff. And I remember that since it's 24 hours, then there's not enough time never to uh, like practice enough for the pitch, because you have like maybe in the second day you start thinking about what to speak about. You have probably spent like 2-3 hours on the script, and then you start rehearsing. And I remember, yeah, that I got really good feedback in the pitch, and it was really fun. And I could sense that like all the people who were participating in that hackathon were like hyped as well. That yeah, let's do it. Let's try this idea. So it was really good.
But what was it? What was it about that experience that made you like, oh, I want to do this again?
Uh, I think for me, I just got addicted to it because the main thing is building stuff. Um, like you can in 24 or 48 hours, you can validate some product quite quickly, and you can really understand if there is some business case or not. Then validating that, then there's teamwork. Uh, why the teamwork is interesting as well for me is that like you have like 5-6 people in your team, then you try to have your different roles. So for example, one is the business person who might pitch as well, trying to find the use cases that yes, this idea in this way can have some monetary income. Then there's marketing person. So for example, person who is already advertising on Facebook, trying to create Facebook ads. We have actually done that as well in hackathons. Um, then there's designer, person who is just trying to make the UI quite pretty, interesting for the chargers, for the customers, trying to validate, going around between different people, trying to modify that, asking within the team. Then there's of course developers. Developers, it depends how many you have in your team. It's 1 to 2 usually, and then sometimes you have front end, back end. If you have full stack, mostly like front end skills is most used in hackathons. Like backend, some people, yes, they create a database, they create different tables. It's possible to gather some kind of data from there, but and from that it's possible to retrieve some graphical data for your graphs, but it's very rarely used. Like maybe a idea that has been built before, and then some people would go to hackathons, then maybe they have something to use case, uh, but yeah, that's, and I think those are the main roles. And for me personally, I have been in the project manager, aka business side as well. So you have project manager who is trying to handle the team, trying to allocate all the different tasks that needs to be done, making sure that the team is happy, and yeah, just motivating people as well.
Has this business person role always been something that you've done in every hackathon, or have you been in different roles?
I think like 18 of them, the first 18, I think I was mainly business project manager role, and then marketing as well. But at one point during the hackathons, I realized as well after the bachelor that like software development and data science is my kind of thing, and that's in the last hackathons that I started to go more in the like developer role. But sometimes even if you're like developer role, then you see like it is important as a developer or whatever role you are that you're trying to make your team to perform very well. So it doesn't matter that it's only a project manager's role.
Yeah,
And you, Ketmar, what do you have since what kind of hackathons you have been to?
I think
From
now,
TransferWise. Yeah.
yeah. When you said when you mentioned this TransferWise hackathon, it was actually also my first experience, and I served as a let's say full stack developer there. And the fun thing was that we actually we really struggled to come up with an idea, and in the end we were like, okay, let's just build some application where you can take a photo of your check or invoice, and it will scan everything into the mobile phone, and you can send it automatically to people. What we did was actually we just created mocks, and well, we got some prices for it, but in the later charges came to us and they were like, does it actually work? We're like, well, it should be doable, yes, but it doesn't work at the moment. So to me, like, hackathons are always like, you need to know what are your strengths, and you need to play for those strengths. And in some cases, I guess it's development, but like a really good product needs this business validation or product validation beforehand. And I guess that's something we had because we made tons of calls to people like, would you use it? Would you pay for it? But
In TransferWise hackathon as well, the team is that you have to validate a lot. For them, the validation is really important. So that's really good thing about. And that's why they say as well, come on, call, go outside, talk to the market, I don't know, ask people on the streets. And that's for them, like validation is really important. And that's one like really good like thing that you can use later in other projects and other in life as well.
Yeah.
And else, have you been in some more hackathons?
Um, I think yeah, a bit. I've been to another TransferWise hackathon, but I guess my most recent ones were the global hack and hack the crisis that happened when the corona pandemic started, and that was actually that was a really cool experience because both of the ideas that I was involved with they still exist and they are still doing something. For example,
Regarding Corona. Wow.
yeah, I mean,
Cool.
it's this is that's when I felt like, okay, we've actually built something that is useful and that people get something out from. And I actually, in the latest hackathon, I was supposed to be a mentor, but then there was this guy posting an idea or pitching an idea, and I was like, okay, I want to participate with this team. And I was like, sorry, but you don't need that many mentors probably. And I joined the team. So that was really cool.
What was it that? What was the idea that it was so important to join?
It was online schooling or online tutoring for students. So maybe you've heard about the small startup called MentorNote.
Doesn't currently ring a bell.
Yeah,
Probably I've
it,
seen
it
some.
was really cool. And what was cool about it was that we were missing some people. We needed someone from the education field, like teacher or someone, and we needed a designer. So I called some of my friends who had never participated in hackathons, and they were like, "Oh, I don't know." But eventually they came, and they were like, "Whoa, that was such a cool experience." So I guess it's a sign that hackathons can be really fun and good for networking.
Yes, you mentioned as well that like being a mentor and then you wanted to participate. For me, like I have had similar experiences. Like if I compare to being a mentor in like in some startup competition, it's quite boring, but actually building stuff, like trying to, I don't know how to say the word, but abuse mentors to gather as much information from them as well and ask this. Like there are like some field experts. Like for example, there's a cybersecurity hackathon. Then there's like space day hackathon, and there are like real field experts, and then you can ask a lot of questions like how this work, how this work, how this work, what are the restrictions, how much does it cost for to spend 1 kilo. Wait, for 1 kilo to spend to space, and then you start making calculations on top of that and starting researching and I don't know, psychology stuff or so. Yeah, so that's good from my side as well.
Yeah, I guess it really goes into actually what I wanted to ask during this interview was that why especially less experienced developers, but not actually only developers, why people who don't have this professional experience yet, why should they join hackathons?
So for them, they can already try to find a team that there is someone more experienced developer, and then they can spend like all night, like just sitting by him and just trying to understand, asking why are you doing this, what are you doing next, and by this way a person can learn a lot, and then maybe the more experienced developer is giving some tasks to the other one, and then they can merge the codes together. And for this way, it's really good. And yeah, that's, and even if you're not as experienced and you go to team and like into new team, then probably it's just like 1 page or 2 pages that you click or something to cover some information that should be doable uh, for without like any functions or something that inside a WordPress or something. It should be doable. So with this, a person could learn a lot as well.
Hmm. what are the like if we go back to your experiences, like how has participating in hackathons helped you in your like professional career?
A lot. I think one thing that you get from hackathons is mentality. Like you speak with a lot of smart people. You try to understand how they solve the issue. Then, for example, like I mentioned, standardized validation process, getting feedback, and trying to live like your life as well, like your own life as a startup. Like you're having some kind of sprints, like you're specifying that for like 2 weeks that you're spending on this, and then you're trying to solve it, and then you're moving to next thing. And the last thing, for example, has helped me a lot as well. And for the ones that like in job wise, then there are in the hackathons there are like talent seekers. Then they are hiring to companies, for example, especially in Skype, in Junction. There's a lot of like job advertisements on the site. And when in the interview you talk about different startups, what you have done, then they really are interested, and they can see that the person has passion, person wants to change things. For me personally, like idea generation, like when I was, I could make an example is that mm, like when there's a task to do something, can generate ideas what to do with a team, generate names for a room. For example, I don't know, for the last, like there's a meeting room coming up, and then you have like 100 name ideas for that thing. Then you have ideas how to solve some issues. You generate. You just, it doesn't matter what's the idea. You can just scratch it off later if it's bad. But then like it's team mentality that you can generate ideas how to fix it. So for me, I think it has a boost in that way. Definitely. One side or negative side for me that has been that someone, since I've been in hackathons, then they said, are you sure that you want to join, that you want to stay for 3 years? Like hackathon people or startup people, maybe they have like, they don't want to maybe spend that much time in a company at first, at least. And they're thinking, okay, I want to start their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Probably in the Pipedrive, you found some hackathon fanatics as well, because I know Pipedrive has organized hackathons as well.
Yeah. Before I'm going to answer that question, it's actually when I was going through my interview process in ByteDrive 4 years ago. This was actually one of the questions I was asked. Like, are you sure you can like work on one single product? And I was really afraid actually that I'm not able to. But that's a whole another conversation. But regarding hackathons, yeah, we haven't had. I say we, but I'm not a ByteDrive employee anymore. But in ByteDrive, we had internal hackathons because we were not fully ready to organize external ones, but we wanted to give people an opportunity to participate. And like because it was internal and we wanted to create real products for our own like core products, the prices were also quite motivating. Like I don't know, some teams got to actually build their projects with a real team and so on. So that's pretty cool.
And I can see that a lot of companies have started with the same trend as well. Like they are building their own hackathons. I've heard LHV is doing the same. Like Bank, then us, Luminor are doing internal hackathons to just solve some internal use cases that needs to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
So this is
It,
nice.
it's actually a really great topic to talk about because I personally believe like especially in fast growing companies, you can have hackathons, internal hackathons. You can also have some like design and development sprints in order to validate your ideas. But in the end, it really comes down to the culture and the people of the company, because it cannot be something that the boss comes and says, "Hey, let's have a hackathon," because you need like people to be open to this idea in a sense.
Yeah, definitely. Plus, yeah, you meet like a lot of people in there that are assisting you with your connections as well. So, like consider like there's 200 people in hackathon, or for example in Junction like 1,200 people, and then I don't know, with like 50, like maybe with 10 people you can have like more closer interaction, and but overall it's possible to widen your contact list as well.
Mm-hmm.
And one actually good thing maybe hackathon to highlight is as well is that like I would say the best developer contacts in my LinkedIn are probably from hackathons, like a lot of people you meet.
I definitely agree here. Like there are so many great contacts that I've gotten just by participating in hackathons, because this is like this is the place in let's say 48 hours or 24 hours you just have to execute, and it's quite stressful, but it's also tons of fun, and you get to see how people actually work in those situations.
Yeah, definitely. One example or something like about the intenseness of the hackathon is that uh, I was in Junction Hackathon, which we won. Is that we won the track? Uh, is that at that specific hackathon I was half developer and then project manager and pitcher. So for me, development side, the chatbot side, I already delivered, and then I started to focus on the pitching side. So on Saturday, I was focusing on pitching, and then I went to sleep. Uh, then I woke up at 10 a.m. and then the other developers were still up. They had like a overnighter. They didn't sleep at all, and then we had a discussion and they said, yes, it's ready. You go pitch. And then I was the only one from 4 people to go to the site, pitch there. And then I went there. I was looking, the website works. I know my pitch. Okay, this is it. I can work with this. And then I went alone there. Like everyone had their own team, like in the over there, but I was the only one over there alone. But at the same time, I was walking around with my headphones, listening some songs, then rehearsing the pitch all the time. When I went to toilet, even like then I was reading the pitch. Like it was really intense. And then I remember that I was pitching. Then by each pitch, the pitch went better. And there were, and this format itself was a bit different. Overall, you pitch to only like wide range of audience, but over there you had to pitch to like group of people, like 5 6 people, and then you had to do a lot of different pitches. Overall, yes, they the result was good. We won the track, and then the team like just came in after sleeping in the to get the award. Like it was just that timing. They were like, "Okay, Mathias, you did it all yourself." So yeah, that was like about the intenseness example. But everyone in your team, like they give the best, and personally as well. Like I see the other developers are like until 10 a.m., then of course I'm giving my best, and that's why you're trying your best to just rehearse every minute. You try to make sure that your coffee doses are in the right, like I don't know, 1 hour before the pitches or something. Your water consumption have to be. Then you walk around, you try to focus on your voice, like you don't want to scream that loudly, but at the same time you need to know when to save your energy. Like there's like a whole science behind it. Like
I can
personally
see
I
you're experienced in that.
like yes, it's for me pitching is like little personal as well. Like I have to give my best. There's no way that uh, I'm letting, okay, I'm really competitive in that way.
I'm really looking participating at hackathons from a let's say from a beginner developer's perspective, and like when people have asked me like, "Hey, Ketmar, how can I get a job as a developer?" One of the first things I say is go to hackathons, because what you just described, working on this under stress, giving all you've got and working in a team and all that intense environment with one single goal for the whole team, it really shows you what this teamwork is all about. And in the end, if you actually are able to build something real, you can also show it to your in your portfolio or whatnot.
Yes, and to add projects to GitHub as well.
Yeah.
Uh, and personally, I got like my bachelor thesis idea from hackathons, from hackathon, and yeah, just so there are like more good sides for that.
You mentioned briefly, you mentioned the prices, so obviously I have to ask, like,
Yeah.
what have been the most like memorable experiences and coolest projects and prices you've got?
Then, for example, in TransferWise hackathon, which I won, we got a trip to UK TransferWise office. Uh, like it was really like 3 days. Just look around the office, get like I don't. They tell you what kind of things they're building in TransferWise, what kind of new projects they have. Then you get a dinner with the CEO of TransferWise. Then you can enjoy like a fancy hotel life. And in this hackathon, the idea was that automated gas stations. So you have a car, you try to gas station, and then the camera recognizes your plate number, and then withdraws the money from your credit card, and you can drive away after the car is fueled. And it was like I don't know, 3 years ago maybe, and yeah, it with this our team had initially planned to continue as well to continue pushing, but unfortunately or something in the end there were like me and one other person pushing hard, like pushing the project. But yeah, unfortunately, like if the team itself, like all 5 people or something, are not feeling it, and really that they are willing to put like come off like all the hours plus maybe, okay, not maybe, but definitely at one point, all your team needs to come away from your full-time job, because the like startup environment is quite competitive, and it's going year by year more and more competitive. So it's like full-time and like really intense. Then maybe about other prices is that Junction I mentioned, we got like 2,000 euros of Amazon gift card. Over there we had this idea to uh, like suggesting different places to go traveling, and like to go, for example, like skiing, golfing, and it gathered data from different sources. For example, what's the cost of living at that city? Then what's the rating in that specific area, for example, for skiing, and weather data from different sources. And then we had many different activities, and with this we had this data model. Then maybe something to highlight is then this is not like a hackathon, but that was like a 3-week startup competition in Italy. It was European Innovation Academy. I don't know, have you heard about?
I've heard something, yeah.
Yeah, but in there we had this online psychology consulting platform that people who are interested about psychology, like sessions like consulting, then they can find consultants in the platform, and then the like web calls are in the platform as well. And like 3 years ago or something, then there wasn't much competition as well in that area, and it was quite promising in that sense. But in the end, we felt like it's good, but not maybe interesting for all of us.
It's actually really like you mentioned three different projects here and from completely different fields, which again illustrates really well that the more hackathons you visit, the more kind of ideas and businesses you get to validate, or business ideas. So that's great. But
And maybe for a viewer as well, like there's like mentioned space tech, cybersecurity, there are data science, fintech, I don't know, wood and food, then hardware and arts. There are really different, like a lot of different topics. So back then I was like pretty much attending all of them just to get the field experience. But you can, like, the person can just go to like their speciality. So for me, probably now I would focus more on the fintech side. Just
as we are starting to run out of time, but I still have like two important questions. So, firstly, a person who now maybe got inspired and really wants to go to hackathons, and I must say nowadays we now have also online hackathons, so it's like really easy to participate. But in your opinion, what is needed in order to succeed in a hackathon? And to you, what does succeeding in a hackathon actually mean?
very good question. I think if a person is motivated to make a change in the world, then a person should definitely go there. And like, I think a person shouldn't focus that much on the role that the person that feels that or is afraid that he cannot give some impact or some value. It shouldn't be a problem. A person just should go there, just enjoy, try to find a team, and do whatever is done. And probably there are project managers who are able to do some easy marketing stuff or something. Like, there's always possibility to do some things, but more on the developer side, like like mentioned, like, just go there, build some easy website, get add more projects to your portfolio, and then you start going more and more to hackathons. Then you have more projects, and then one time you understand that, yeah, you have done a lot of different things in 48 hours. Developer can like learn himself quite a lot as well. So yeah, my, like, if I would give, like, definitely should go to hackathon, just test it out. And there are like different websites as well that they give information about like what kind of hackathons there are coming. I cannot remember the pages names, but if you Google probably hackathons worldwide, then there is some list of upcoming hackathons. For Estonia, I can definitely recommend Garage for Date.
Yeah, me too. Definitely. Very well organized hackathons. Okay, but I guess regarding hackathons, that's it. Like there are still tons of different questions that we could discuss, but in the end, I believe it's just important that people go themselves and try out. And I don't know many people who have participated in hackathons and didn't like it. Usually, it's the opposite.
So yeah, maybe for our viewers, just maybe sum up conclusions, just some points that we talk, like why is it so important, is that mainly is the, like, building stuff, then meeting new people, challenging yourself, and then with this you have like adrenaline rush, and pitching as well or something if someone likes that side, plus
Yeah,
development experience.
and in the end, you definitely get to, like, no matter what you do, in the end, usually you come up with an actual product and get this sense of accomplishment. So it's amazing. But Mattis, I have a question too that I usually ask from people who I'm interviewing, and the question is, uh, name one habit that makes you a better, well, not developer, but person.
Yes, so for me, 2.5 years ago, I took one challenge. don't break the chain. So it means that you have some specific thing. For me, it was 30 minutes of programming every day and 15 pages of book reading. And for me, I have done it every single day for the past 2.5 years. So only thing is that I appended the development part to like economic theories and data science, like more like understanding different models, how it was built, because that was more important for me. So don't break the chain, like every day to try to do it, and you realize that at one point you will be expert in that field in no time. Like if you really focus that 30 minutes and you read those specific similar books as well. I have read now quite many developer books as well, like about architecture, about clean codes, and yeah, so that's my recommendation.
This is some real inspiration here. Like, wow, that's really cool. Yeah, I'm really speechless. And I guess this is like a really great place to end this conversation. Like, man, I'm seriously, genuinely happy that you agreed to talk to and have this conversation with me. And do you have anything else that you would like to say to the listeners, the aspiring developers listening to us?
Just maybe the focus on is that like, I mean, we had hackathons as discussions, and with hackathons comes a startup, and with this like sprints in your own life as well. Just try to focus on one single thing, try to finish it, and then in some time pick a next thing up, and that is really useful as well. So, and thank you, Getmar, for inviting me. I was really glad to talk about hackathons. That's my specialty that I really like. And yeah.
And with that said, people, I thank you for listening and see you in the next episode. Bye.